Hi, Anthony Asquith of Affinity Training. Welcome to my blog on Never Be Lied to Again Ever. I'm particularly excited because I've just purchased a new camera and it's better quality and the sound is brilliant. Okay, I was asked since the first blog by a couple of people if you experience people who you think are not telling the truth or being upfront, should you confront them in the first instance immediately? I find that this is really a good strategy because whilst people don't think you know they're being deceitful or in some way making stuff up, they're going to be quite relaxed, they're going to be quite comfortable. The moment you start to try to accuse them or make your observations clearer to them, they become defensive. So what I'm really saying is when you start to observe non-verbal cues or information, acts of commission, i.e. they tell you too much, or acts of omission, they don't tell you enough about a situation, then just remain relaxed, store it up here as it were, till you gain sufficient evidence to validate your case or your position at a later stage. So I wanted to, on this second occasion, to look at a few videos on this occasion. Rather than looking at me, it's other people, unfortunately. But they do have a purpose. I want to look in the first video at non-verbal congruency. And primarily, this video involves a lady who's being interviewed by a therapist. She's about to deal with a person or persons that she finds difficult to handle. What is apparent in the first clip of the video, a couple of little things. He asks her, how are you feeling about this? At which point she starts to reply, I'm feeling single shoulder lift, strong and confident. And you also notice drop of voice tone and a very tiny series of micro shakes of her head. In other words, the non-verbal cues seem to suggest that there's something going on in her mind that doesn't quite add up. And you can see this quite clearly because by the time you watch the second part of the clip, she has dealt with the difficult person, and clearly her non-verbal cues are much more congruent because she nods her head as she's talking. She's amazed that she's made, she made all this stuff up in her mind, and it's all gone really, really well. And just notice the vocal tone, the enthusiasm in her behaviours really seem to indicate that this has been a good experience for her, unlike the first video where she's uncertain and doubtful. Don't take my word for it, watch it for yourself, make up your own opinions.
I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling a lot better about the whole issue, and I'm feeling really positive about speaking to my employees in the future.
And so if I'd told you that you were going to feel this way an hour ago, would you have believed me?
No.
Well, welcome back. It's been, I guess, almost 3 weeks since we did that work.
I started the conversation and I stuck to my agenda and I went through the issues, and they took it really well. It was just so matter of fact. I realized that I had really created, terrible scenarios in my head that were not there. And she was, the one particular girl just said, yeah, okay, no problem. Yep, I won't do that again. And it went really well.
And
so as you can see, the very contrasting image of the two videos, of the two clips rather, make my point entirely. The second clearly demonstrates how this lady, having gone through the experience of handling the difficult person, is much more confident in her position. She now realises that this had all been stuff she'd made up in her head, and she couldn't believe that actually it was much easier than she had perhaps anticipated. So I'd like to also talk a little bit about what I call the laws of absolute, the way people reframe, the way people frame the words they use. If you're talking to somebody and they were to say something like, I had absolutely no idea that this was going on. I mean, how could I have known? It seems unfathomable, unimaginable that somebody else could have found out. I only thought you and I were the people who knew about the situation. What you might see with that denial is rapid blinking of the eyes. Now, rapid blinking of the eyes accompanying absolutes tend to suggest what we call extracortical processing. You've heard the phrase blinking liar. In other words, they're having to think rather fast. Their brain is having to go through stuff very, very quickly to get stuff to work in their heads, to cognitively put together information that actually hasn't happened. Additionally, something really important to be aware of is what I term the single shoulder shrug. The single shoulder shrug. Usually this will be accompanied by several of them. As they talk to you, their single shoulder will rise quickly, almost unobservedly, especially adding to that little micro nods, as you've seen on the video just now, little micro nods, single shoulder shrugs, blinking, and the laws of absolutes. I would never do such a thing. How could you accuse me of being deceitful? You know how I feel about lying. All this sort of stuff, and I don't have an agenda, honestly. All this stuff pretty much adds up to the fact that not everything is to be believed that you see. I hope you've enjoyed this little quick sort of visit to my weird and wonderful world. I'll be dropping by fairly soon again with more information about what to watch out for, what to pay attention to, and how not to be deceived by other people. Cheers for now. Bye.